Hey guys, this is a quick video before I head to sleep. This little recap of my thoughts on NXT TakeOver WarGames. The women's match, it didn't really shock me, kind of, because with the momentum that Team Shotzi had into the numbers advantage, which isn't normally a face thing, it was kind of obvious, that Team Candice was going to win the match. But the thing that shocked me was and no, this was a good match for for women's war games. Mainly, even though there's only been like I think two, maybe either two or three. It was a good match. But the thing that shocked me was the ending. I could have sworn they were gonna go with with Candice LeRae pitting Io Shirai. That way she can say she deserves another title shot. No, Raquel Gonzalez, the hired gun for Dakota Kai, got the pin on Io Shirai, which shocked me because, in my opinion, and this should be true and factual because this is how title matches should freaking work. This puts Raquel Gonzalez as the #1 contender for the women's title. And in my opinion, here's where, let's just say, Dakota Kai, since she's been on a freaking roll, Raquel Gonzalez, and let's just throw in Toni Storm with her new momentum, and let's just say they're up here for title contention. Here's where I put Candice LeRae. Way down here. Because even with this win as a team, as a singles competitor, Candice LeRae does not deserve any title shots for at least a couple freaking months. Maybe halfway into 2021 is when I said she should get back into trying to earn title shots. Because every time she gets a title shot, even being back to Shayna Baszler, just like her husband, she loses. Speaking of Johnny Gargano, your first ever 3-time NXT North American champion, Johnny Gargano. And it was revealed that the person helping him in the Ghostface mask was the newly returned Austin Theory. The thing I'm hoping for, because if there is a God, I want this to happen. I want Johnny Gargano on NXT. Hell, just make this the next NXT event. Or just a next pay-per-view. I don't care. At least give him the 5-week mandatory run as champion. Because we know with Johnny Gargano's history, it won't be long till he loses the title again. I want this to happen. I want Gargano to do another open challenge. Not a wheel, but just a random open... Sorry, hand was in the way of the camera. Sorry. Just a random open challenge. Have no music hit, but have Austin Theory come up from behind him and pin him with a roll-up to win the title. I would love that. The guy that helped him win the title is the guy who screws him out of the title. I'll just say this. Also, if you hear it, if you can hear it, I have 2K19 playing in the background. Yeah, I am glad that Leon Ruff is no longer champion, I guess. I was just hoping for Damian Priest, because Damian, he didn't have a good run as NXT North American champion. He had a decent run, but he didn't have the run we expected him and that he deserved to have. Now, on to, without the final War Games being on the card, the match that I say was almost, can be called the match of the night. Timothy Thatcher versus Tommaso Ciampa. Winner, Tommaso Ciampa, via pinfall. This was such a great back and forth match, in my opinion. It was great, 5 stars. If it wasn't for the next match I'm going to talk about, I would say Ciampa and Thatcher for match of the night, and that is the Undisputed Era versus Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, and that piece of shit Pat McAfee. The guy who has no place in this ring. And I knew immediately, even without this crap, I knew Pat McAfee was going to be the last entrant into the match. Because he ain't shit in this world of professional wrestling. I don't care what he's done for the NFL. I don't care what he did. When you're in this business, the professional wrestling business, it matters what you do here. Pat's done nothing. He is nothing, and he ain't nothing in the WWE. He ain't nothing in NXT. He's shit. Well, but I will admit, when it comes to celebrities coming over to the WWE, I have to say Pat is the best because he actually can work. I just hate his. Dang it, again, I forgot, sorry. I just hate his fucking guts. To think he runs the show. He ain't shit without Birch, Lorcan, and Dunn. He ain't shit. And like I predicted this in War Games when it was 4-4, Pat McAfee was the Undisputed Era's bitch. One thing I wanted to see this. I wanted to see Adam Cole hit that no knee pad last shot in the back of his head, just to knock his bitch ass out. It did end with the Undisputed Era winning. I think they pinned Pete Dunne. I think that's who they pinned. I'm not 100%. I think that is who they pinned though. But yeah, this was a great War Games match. And something I love was it was Kyle O'Reilly facing off with Pat McAfee. And Kyle said, "You ain't nothing. You want to be a wrestler? Here's your effing chance." Just calling him out. And then Cole rushed him and beats the hell out of him from behind. And also, to everybody who said Kyle O'Reilly was turning on the Undisputed Era in this match. I mean, what would be the point? What would be the legitimate point for Kyle O'Reilly to turn on the Undisputed Era? It would make no sense to me. I would be all for a singles run with Kyle O'Reilly, but with the Undisputed Era, still a part of the Undisputed Era, having the singles run, have Fish and Strong go for the tag titles, and Cole go for the North American title. Well, Kyle O'Reilly goes for the NXT title, something like that for Golden Prophecy V2. But it would just make no sense. Yes, Kyle O'Reilly has had a successful singles career without people, like, separate from Red Dragon in Ring of Honor when he beat Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor World Championship. But at NXT, he's part of the faction that runs the show. I hate saying this, but it's the closest thing. The Undisputed Era, in my opinion, is the closest thing we will ever get to a modern day Four Horsemen. I can't think of anything else. They are the closest thing we'll ever get to a modern day Four Horsemen. That's how dominant they are as a faction. Anyway, that's my thoughts on NXT WarGames. Pat McAfee ain't shit in this business. I can't say it enough. When it comes to pro wrestling, let's look at the stats. McAfee is 0 for 2 in his career. He doesn't belong in this ring. He doesn't belong in that business. Because, just like I said, mainly the example of tonight, he was the Undisputed Era's bitch. Like I called it. I don't want to end on that because I know people hate me because blah blah blah. They'll try to fucking suck us. It's simple as this. There's one word to describe NXT WarGames. And it's simple. Undisputed.